嗨，大家好，我现在在我们的一个美国朋友Lucinda的家里面。今天我们要一起来为我们的一个共同的朋友和他婚前的新娘送礼会的一些传统甜点。这是 Lucinda。Hello. It said historically bridal shower is for gift giving, but now I feel like it's more like a gathering for the bride's friends and families. What do you think?
I agree. And that's my understanding too, that historically it was almost like an insurance policy. When your daughter got married, your friends would give her a shower, and your friend's daughter would get married, you'd give them a shower. So it was a way of kind of spreading the responsibility, the financial responsibility for a wedding. But you're right, now usually it's simply to celebrate the bride and the groom and the upcoming wedding. We're going to be preparing for a shower that we're giving for a friend who is older, and she really doesn't want a lot of gifts. She just wants her friends to gather and share some thoughts and pray for her and that type of thing. So that's the idea of this shower, and we're going to be making scones, which is traditional for a tea, which is a bread that has quite a bit of butter, and then we're making like sort of like a pudding. Be chocolate.
Are we making the tea too?
No, the tea we just make it when the time comes. It's just tea.
Okay.
Nothing special.
Okay, so let's start.
Yeah. Usually when I start a recipe, I make sure I have all of the ingredients, which I believe we have here. And then I read the directions through, and then I begin. Have our large mixing bowl. We're going to first put all the dry ingredients for the dough in here. Then we're going to add the butter, and the butter should be cold.
Okay.
So I'm going to get it out right now, and then we'll put in the apples and wet ingredients in a separate bowl, and we'll add them in. But let's start with the dry.
Okay.
So 2 cups. So here's 1 cup.
How many portions are we making?
Oh, good question. 12.
Okay.
12 servings. And at the tea, we're expecting 9 to 10 women. So we'll have 1 extra for you to taste. Here's our flour. And then sugar. We're using 1/3 cup of sugar. And as you know, most American recipes are kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Our Asian friends. This is not so much. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and I don't have a 3/4, so I just kind of get a little less than 1 teaspoon. Our apple pie spice recipe, which is simply a mixture of cinnamon and allspice and ginger, just to whisk it together. So I usually just use the mixer thing to do that, so I don't have to get something else dirty. Just roughly cut it into cubes. It's nothing special. Just break apart faster in the mixer if we do that. Here. While that's stewing, I'm going to cut the apple. This is pretty good because it says it's okay if you have some chunks in there.
Okay.
So, got a little bit extra, but I think we'll be okay.
Yes, we will eat it.
Yeah, good idea. There we go.
I think apple has a very good meaning. It's the color is red. It means happiness in China.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does red always mean happiness? Represent happiness?
It has a good meaning.
Okay.
Yeah, we wear red when we were having spring festival.
Okay, and don't brides wear red or not?
Yeah, but now we wear white wedding dress.
Okay.
Like Western culture.
Okay.
But then when we are hosting the meal, we wear in red.
Change into the red dress.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen the
Then that's
friends
wedding.
that have gotten married. Yeah, I love that. So beautiful. Yes. All right, so now it says put in the apple and the cinnamon chips. So we put this apple in, a little bit extra, but that's nice. Butterscotch chips are very, very sweet. I'm not even sure what's in a butterscotch chip, but it's really nice. boy. What do you think? Very sweet, isn't it? Yeah. But I tried this, I tested it, and it was nice. It was not too sweet in the actual recipe. I saved organic waste because we have a garden and we put that in our garden.
Wow.
Okay. Another bowl with a wet. Two eggs and some vanilla extract. You've been here long enough to know that almost every dessert calls for vanilla extract.
Yeah.
This is unsweetened.
So what do you do with the applesauce? You just for baking or you can eat
No,
it?
a lot of people eat it. When we had apple tree, we would make our own. It's just really taking apples and grinding them up and adding a little sugar. Not much, hardly any. You can eat it, put it with cereal. So it has a lot of uses. Actually, traditionally, when you have pork, you have applesauce with it. But
Oh.
not so much now, but
It sounds like a good combination.
yeah, I agree. It's in here, so we add this in. Stir until it's just barely moist. Until everything's moist and the whole's together, but not too much. We can do the rest by hand. With a lot of breads, you don't want to over mix them.
Yeah.
So.
It's smelling very good.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I like it. Yeah, I think it's the apple. Maybe it's those butterscotch chips. Anyway, as you can see, some of the dry ingredients in the bottom didn't exactly get incorporated, so we'll stir it up a little bit. So put one here. I kind of want to start them a little ball. Then we're just going to press them down. And the recipe says till they're about 5 to 5.5 inches in diameter. So it's pretty small, actually. So it's not really adding anything except a wetness that will hold on to the cinnamon sugar. And it said, the recipe says you can use milk or water. I just like the idea of having a little milk on here. So you can see it's not crazy amount, but just enough to add a little more cinnamon flavor. And hopefully look a little more interesting with the brown and the white. And then I'm supposed to separate them just a little bit so that they'll have room to bake evenly. I like scones for breakfast or for tea in the afternoon.
Is that too sweet for breakfast?
Well, probably for Asians, yes, but for Americans, you know, we're okay with sweets. For example, you know, pancakes, if you think about them,
Oh yeah.
the pancakes themselves aren't sweet, but we put a lot of syrup on them. So if you want the best texture and highest rise, put them in the freezer for 30 minutes. So let's go ahead. I'll put this in the freezer.
Okay.
And then we'll start our next dish.
Okay.
Suet that he's eating with seeds in it.
What's suet?
No, it's yours.
White chocolate mousse. And a mousse is sort of like a pudding. So we're going to put it in these little dessert cups that have a little glitter on them, so they look a little bit fancy. The first thing we do is we scald the milk in a double boiler. Now, this is an old-fashioned cookbook, and so everything's a little old-fashioned. Generally today people don't scald milk, but we're going to do it. I don't have a double boiler because, as I mentioned, we don't do it very often. So I'm just going to put some water in this pan. Then we'll put our ingredients in here, and the heat will melt the chocolate, but it won't burn up. I'm going to add a couple cups of milk in there. But as I'm waiting for the milk to get warm, you want a half cup of sugar and then 8 ounces of chocolate. Pretty warm. So I'll stir the sugar in. All right, so this is actually, it'll take a little bit of time, obviously, for this to melt. So it's dissolved, and then we'll have to let it cool a while. So it'll definitely help them get stiffer faster. I'm just going to stop this now. And we need a teaspoon of salt and the sugar. And
Where did you get the container, the small container?
see, they were my mom's,
Oh,
so they're old.
wow. They look new though.
So we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of cream de coco. It's a chocolate liqueur. Then we're going to add this to our whipped cream and just try to gently fold it in. Put all 3 of these together. So here's our egg whites. You can see are nice and stiff. Whipped cream. And now we're going to just fold it together gently. We want to have it well incorporated, but we don't want to have it too, try to keep the air in it. I'm not sure how much will fit each one, so I'm trying to start with a small amount, and then we can go back and start adding more.
Oh, the scone is ready.
Yes. They may be done. In between, if they look like they're fully cooked. Here's the scones, just got them out of the oven, and we'll take them apart and put them on a plate, and I hope the bride likes them. Which is very normal for American men. We're gonna pick the biggest scone, since they have to split it. So sad. What kind of a hostess am I? Your kids split the scone.
I think that's all I could fit now anyway.
Oh, good. And if you don't like it, don't tell me. But it had rosemary. Yeah. You needed more.
It smells kind of milky. 应该是上面的那个叫什么 butterscotch 的 chips. It's great.
Oh, are they? Okay, it's okay to say that. Let's record Flora eating it. Ooh, they're great.
Yes. Here. You wanna try one?
Yes, please. Yeah, that's really good.
It's okay to say that. Good job.
Yeah, I think some scones are really dry, but
I
these
do
aren't
too.
too dry.
I agree. I agree with you, and I have the same problem. I mean, they're okay, but I like them with, they need butter or something like that. So I think it's because it has applesauce and apple in it, which provides some nice moisture. That's my thinking.
Makes sense.